talk.
Check this out.
Let's talk about this again. I just met the boys downstairs, and how did you know that these were the ones to be cast as Alvin and the Chipmunks? How did you find these boys?
Well, you just, first of all, obviously you audition, folks, and Justin, when Justin came in, he was so Alvin. His rants, I mean, honestly, if we could have had a 12-hour movie, we could have had all of the rants that he would.
It was painful to cut his stuff because it was so
funny. And Matthew Gubler, who is Simon, brings not just that sort of studious, intellectual thing that you would expect from Simon, but he also brings this really wonderful, eccentric wit and great fun. So, he brought a lot of personality to Simon, and Jesse is really sweet. And because all three of these guys grew up on the shows that Janice and I produced when we voiced the characters all those years, they were really respectful of what was right for Alvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Well, working on, now you're kind of bringing Alvin to another generation of kids, and you also modernize the story, the sound of the music's totally different. What was it like to kind of almost create a new version of this? Like, what was the plan, and was, I know, let's talk about this.
It was fun. I mean, it's fun to update the characters and to bring them into modern vernacular and hip songs, and it's always fun to take them places because they go there so well. They're very malleable, and they always have been. We've moved them over the years, and they just fit beautifully.
The fun thing about the Chipmunks is whether the look, they started as puppets on the Ed Sullivan Show, then they became animated, then this new look, the CGI look, Janice was really, worked really closely with the designers with that, because she knew she wanted them to be small, so you believed that they lived in this real world.
You couldn't have real-looking chipmunks up to Dave's knee, and have anyone buy that.
That's frightening.
We wanted them small, and we wanted them to look real and move in this live-action world, and yet embody the character that people grew up with and
because
enjoyed.
when you first see them in the tree, if you don't know who they are, if you don't have the sense of Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, then we failed.
Well, watching, part of the history of Alvin Jones is the infamous Alvin, so watching Jason do that, I mean, did he practice? Did he talk to you about how to get the perfect?
That was really funny because Jason, who is a new dad, he's the father of a 3.5-year-old boy and a wonderful kid, and it was really important to Jason. He said, I don't want to come across too mean. So initially, he could, Alvin, and then, no, Jason, Alvin has just ruined your date, ruined your job, and wrecked your house, all in 24 hours. That is worthy of Alvin! So don't be afraid, and you are also so likable and so appealing as an actor and as a person. You can weather that storm. You're not going to come off as a child beater. Don't worry.
But he also didn't have the benefit of having the Chipmunks there, so it was a leap of faith. He couldn't see Alvin's antics. He couldn't see all the things that they were doing to justify the yell. So Ross said, just trust us on this. You can go for it.
Walking around the grounds of this beautiful home, there's a lot of history here. I'm just wondering, what was it like growing up with this, and as a child, did you understand the kind of cultural importance that the stuff that your father had created?
Well, growing up, you obviously have no sense of cultural importance of anything. What I knew was that my dad having a hit song meant I got to stay up late and watch Ed Sullivan when he appeared with the Chipmunks. Those were the sorts of things. It meant that we lived in an area that was really hot during the summertime, and because he had written this song that did so well and that people enjoyed, we got a swimming pool. So that's the sort of cultural importance that I understood.
Then as you grow up and to keep this brand at this, how do you continue to have this enthusiasm to kind of even make a new film for it? I mean, what was it about it that you really need to do?
You need to love the characters. You need to love these guys, and you need to want to do right by them. And you need to want to do right by the people who grew up on them and trusted you and loved them. So was a huge responsibility for us, and that's why it took so long to do it. We wanted to make sure that the script was right, the tone was right, the characterization was right, and the studio would allow us to be as involved as we needed to be to protect the boys.